Good morning and welcome. It's that early morning Sunday show, the show that's consistently in the early morning because at night I'm just too damn sleepy to do any kind of video. So, cheers and welcome. Well, this week first? There's some interesting music. One's kind of a FOMO type thing, probably. The other's just, yeah, fascinating selection. One of the albums, sometimes you have an album you listen to, oh, let's just say 30 years ago, and you go, huh, really? Why is everyone so excited about it? 30 years later, you put it on and go, damn, that's really good. How did I miss that back then? One of those kind of albums. I think we all have those. We all kind of like, and yeah, just some fascinating stuff, some brand new and some stuff that's over 50 years old. So maybe you should stick around past 30 seconds and listen to some of that. Uh, we made it through our 250th anniversary as a nation. Happy birthday. 250 years. I remember when I was 17, we had our 250th birthday celebration in the U.S. Big deal. Man, that was big. Uh, we just we just seemed more in tune together as a nation, not as divided. Now, believe me, there's plenty of division. Richard Nixon had just been in the White House only a couple of years before. That was a lot of contention there. And then Gerald Ford, gave him a pardon and crap like that. Jimmy Carter was coming in. But it's just, I grew up in rural America. And I'm telling you, that 200th was huge. Oh my God. Parades everywhere you went. The news was filled with things. Railroad engines were painted red, white, and blue. The bicentennial. And this one, there's definitely, major division going on within the U.S. And everybody knows that. And if someone doesn't think so, well, have you watched the news lately? And it kind of hurts it, which is too bad. And some of it's created. Sometimes some folks like chaos. It's not the same. It's not the same feel as the 200th. And maybe I'm just older and crankier. I don't know. Could be part of it. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not, but yeah, it's too bad. It's a big milestone, and it just doesn't feel the same. And things can change. It's just there has to be a way in which we come together, and we're not so often when we don't agree. I think, and this is part of social media, it now gives us an outlet to come across as confrontational, and some live off confrontation, and social media is just a phenomenal way to do that, which is sad, but it's the way it is, and it's what we have to live with. I mean, it's our day of age now. Things are changed. 50 years ago for 200th, you didn't have all that. You had the same people, same type of people, same kind of thoughts were happening, but it just wasn't out there. There's no way to really voice it except you can go to the bar and do it. So, all part of it, but that has nothing to do with music. So, still, happy 250th. Didn't do a damn thing. I was just hoping Colorado wasn't going to burn down. Fireworks. We were so dry. There's like 7 different forest fires going on right now in Colorado. A couple weeks ago, my friend Russell, he did the introduction. He was heading up into the mountains for camping up by a city called Leadville. Wonderful city. He had to evacuate, and he had to evacuate quickly. He was by where one of these forest fires are at that was not contained. And I don't think some of these are still contained. Man, the state's burning. But somehow we didn't burn it down on 4th of July with fireworks. I mean, it's just like, should we even have fireworks right now? It would suck to be a firework vendor on the West because it's too dry, and some places just aren't allowing it. Out east, you guys are drowning in water and heat, so have some fireworks. Okay, let's begin here though. The one with the hype. There's a lot of hype around this album. And we'll just show it right away and kind of tell you my thoughts on here. Andthen de Andthen de. It's French, you know. Everyone's saying it, and oh, that's how it's pronounced. Oh no, is that how it's pronounced? I don't know, but we bought them both. Let's just start first off. It's a group from Quebec, and formed in 2019, and it is Ken and Click de Poitlin. That's their made-up names, and their music is microtonal compositions, I guess. It's microtonal type compositions, which is kind of a style of, you put math rock and experimental rock together, this is what you get. Also, this one has a head of a condom, this one has a nose that needs a condom, so they need each other. That's just a personal thought. They're French, and obviously, well, they're French. They're Canadian French is what we should be saying. And they have been together. They've been playing together for 2 decades. For 2 decades. At age 13, they started playing together. It might have been off and on that, but that's how long they've known each other. So they've been around. But this came about, again, in 2019. They had booked themselves into a gig twice that week. So I thought, well, geez, can we really go back as the same band or whatever? We should just change it up. So they came up with these crazy costumes. And they came in and, played. And guess they decided, this is pretty cool. We're going to keep the costumes going. And, no one really knew about, at least in the States or around the world, until KXAEP put on one of their little concerts, which, you can see. And that was the beginning of this year. And so, and I remember seeing that. Dave, Local Bandography, had sent me a video of it. Says, you got to check this out. Jim Gleason sent me a video of it. Got to check this out. And I watched it, and I couldn't watch very much of it. I absolutely hated it. I don't. The guy's head's a condom. What the hell? What's with the nose in there? It was the aspect. I wasn't hearing the music. That was the problem. Their costumes took away to me from the music that they were playing, and thus I was struggling with them. And I couldn't listen to the whole thing. I just didn't hear the music. So Jim and I, a few weeks ago, we were doing video on this, and Jim said, I listened to these guys, because he had the same feeling. He couldn't stand. Just the performance just kind of was off. He's just like, really? It's just trying to get us excited about it. But he goes, I just listened to the music only, without thinking about that video, and it was great. He goes, I really, really liked it. And so he bought both albums, and he had more coming to the shop. And he convinced me that, okay, let's just try this. I went and I just pulled up some of the music without seeing the video, and I enjoyed it. And so sometimes, the performance got a lot of people excited. They loved what they were seeing. They loved the visual aspects. In my case, I did not like the visual aspects, so kind of changed it. But we have here Volume 1, Volume 2, 1 and 2. That's pretty easy, and that makes a nice, easy title. And there are the names of this. Now, Andthen de Poitlin. I'm saying with a French accent. It actually comes from the French. Angina pectoris, which means strangling of the chest. They go, our music kind of fits that. Now, they do sing in nonsense, okay? They have their own language. They make these triangles. See how their hands are a triangle. That's a big thing during their concerts. They do that. They'll just go like this. And then the whole audience does that too. So they all do it together. It has an insert on here. And we have this. And I mean, like, God bless them. They can go anywhere they want, and nobody will know who they are. They can go to Disneyland now and not be bothered. And what that's just nice. And maybe they do go to Disneyland a lot and we don't know. Here's the second album, and there is the label, not much there, and we got another insert. And so it's just a two-piece band. Guitar, basically it's guitar, lots and lots of tape loops. They use tape loops because, you know, he has a bass and he has the guitar. You know, it's one of those double necks, and the drumming is almost like punk style drumming. I love the drumming. The drumming is just, it's furious, it's fast, it's very, very cool. So this group, they use a lot of really odd time signatures, and that's kind of what it's really about, and have extremely complex rhythms. And it's mostly instrumental. The second one, volume 2, they have a little bit of the singing, which is just noise. You know, they're singing whatever language from whatever world that they come from. But it's fast-paced math, and I could say you could probably put prog in there. God, there's like 3 weeks in a row I think I said prog on one of my albums, Art and Alex. How about that? Man. So this music isn't for everyone. I just want to tell you, it's not. But I did find it. Is pretty good. You know, so volume 1, it's just filled with a lot of very fast-paced rhythms happening. Very bouncy. Just kind of boom, 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 boom. And when you sit and listen, it's actually pretty darn exciting. I really like, kind of there's this Dadaist showmanship. I mean, when you think of Dada kind of stuff, very Dadaist. But it's just the intrinsic looping that they do. And there's lots of looping going on, which keeps the music going and keeps it more interesting. Volume 2, like I said, again, a few more vocals in there, I thought. Which, again, are just pure nonsense. It's filled with all these uneven tempos, but even with these uneven tempos, it feels danceable. I mean, you could probably actually dance to this thing. It's really interesting. Again, the music is very frantic. It's very bouncing, and just, again, a great use of tape loops. My question with the group is, can they keep this going? Can they keep this kind of music happening? And maybe so, but all I know is these 2 albums have done extremely well. I've got a lot of people really excited. Check out their videos. You could maybe you're going to like that. It's performance art. Maybe that's what we should call that. What they do is performance art. So, Andthen de Poitrine, not for everyone, but it is interesting music. Record Store Day album, and Record Store Day Dada El Sublimijoso. I wasn't going to buy this at first, but they were hanging around out there everywhere I went. I kept seeing them there, so I thought, oh well, I'll give it a shot because it's Record Store Day, and if I can't blow tons of money, you know, what kind of record collector am I? And I didn't want to, I wanted to make sure I was all part of it. The very orangey vinyl. It's a 2-album set. It's kind of an orange marble type vinyl. And I believe there's even an insert in here. There we go. Got an insert. So this is Record Store Day. And I actually have very nice sleeves on the vinyl and an insert. So again, Record Store Day kind of surprised me with some of their albums where there's something better in there. So Dada formed in 92, broke up in 99, reformed in 03. Pretty much alt-rock. Their music was highly melodic, really harmony-laden type tunes. It was a 3-piece band. Their third album had Disneyland, or it might have been their second album, Disneyland. That came out in 92. Huge hit. Was really big. It got people kind of excited about the group. So they put out their second album, and it was on IRS. Well, IRS was struggling. And so IRS really couldn't promote it very well. So it's like, oh, strike one for the group. It's not getting a lot of word out there. So, okay, let's do our third album. They're still on IRS. So they put out their third album. IRS collapses, falls apart. Just so forget the third album. I mean, it just destroyed it. Again, no promotion. They couldn't get it going. So, okay, let's go to MCA. So they switch and go over to MCA. Put out their fourth album. MCA gets bought out by someone else. No promotion, nothing happened. They just got lost in the shuffle of this merger. Suddenly, well, you were working on, but you're no longer here. Someone else is there. Who's Dada? I'm never Dada. And so, I mean, this group's been haunted by just crap happening. I mean, yikes. And yeah, they put out 6 albums now, which I had no idea. El Sublimioso is a very diverse record, and in it you have lots of soaring harmonies. There's tongue-in-cheek type lyrics, which are a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great guitar playing. I gotta say, the guitar playing is really top-notch on this, along with these harmonies. This came out in 1996, the year IRS fell apart. Kind of some highlight songs. They have a song called Bob the Drummer. I mean, that just tells you right there. It's funny as hell, Bob the Drummer. They have A Trip with My Dad. Great. It is great stuff. And there's another song called Rise. And man, Rise just has these thundering riffs happening on there. This album, it rocks, but it's also filled with great harmonies. And yeah, you're going to get some really, really good harmonies on this. It was enjoyable. I'm glad I picked it up. I wasn't going to, but I did, and I'm happy with that. Recently found this in a record store. This is an original. This is Buddy Guy's first album. This is Buddy Guy off Vanguard. And we have it here. There we go. Vanguard. This is Buddy Guy. So Buddy Guy, he was born in Louisiana. He's come around touring, and so I need to get my tickets bought for that. He was born in 1936. He's 90 years old, 90, and he's touring. Of course, Rolling Stones were probably 92, and they're going to be touring. As a child, his parents, his dad they were sharecroppers, so he had to pick cotton. If you picked 100 pounds, you got $250. As a kid, you have to pick 100 pounds, $2.50 is what you get. That's tough. In the 50s, though, he moved to Baton Rouge. He became a janitor, but also started playing the blues and began performing in and around Baton Rouge. 57, he moved to Chicago. And there things changed. He met Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters introduced him to chess. And he began playing at chess, but more as a session musician. He was trying to release solo material, but chess wouldn't release his solo music. They kept telling him his playing was just making noise. Okay, poor Buddy Guy. Hey, there's bring it in your stuff. And one of the Chess Brothers, nah, that's just a bunch of noise. We're not going to release it. So he moved to Vanguard. And Vanguard was trying to redo their stable, trying to, get things going, maybe doing different things. And they liked it, and they released this album in 1968. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful original copy of This Is Buddy Guy. This is a live album. And again, Chess wouldn't do his live stuff. It's just too chaotic to them. And honestly, this is his signature live album. This really shows what he's doing. There's no restrictions on him. There's no expectations. It's just him blazing away with these extended solos and soulful singing. This, to me, is a master class of electric Chicago blues. And he does songs like Fever, Knock on Wood, The Things I Used to Do. So, it is a mix of some of his songs and, of course, songs from other people. He has a band with trumpets in here, so trumpets and saxophones, tenor and baritone sax, so it's a full band going, but he rips it up. Really good. This is Buddy Guy. Excellent. Brings us to an album that I bought the CD when this came out, and I didn't get it. I didn't, and all the critics are raving about it. Everything I was reading in Rolling Stone, Spin, Q magazine. I mean, I had so many magazines I was buying back then, and they're just raving about this thing. And I just did. I go, huh? Teenage Fan Club out of Glasgow in Scotland. They formed in 1989, alt-rock power pop. There we go, inner sleeves, that. And this group has 3 songwriters and 3 vocalists. So what you're going to get is a lot of harmony. They formed after the breakup of the band Boy Hairdressers. It's just, now that's an awesome name, Boy Hairdressers. And I don't think it'd make a cool t-shirt. So I think Teenage Fan Club was a better name. And they started more as a noisy, chaotic, musically type band. This is their 3rd album, and they began to get things figured out. Or was this their 2nd album? That was their 3rd album for sure. Maybe if this was, I think they did an album, they did an EP, and then they came out with this. That's how I think we're going to go. So this came out in 1991, bandwagon-esque. And this was a more deliberate album by them. They were trying to make something that were going to get people excited. So it was just wasn't something, let's just sit down and do whatever we want to do. They really constructed this to have lots of hooks, lots of fuzzy guitars, and a whole lot of vocal harmonies. And they really came up with it, and the critics loved it. Now, at the time, I said, I didn't grasp it because power pop wasn't really a big thing to me then. I mean, grunge was coming out. I was listening to that. I was listening to a lot of the more alternative rock, the college radio that was coming out. And from the UK, it was just more of the electronica that was happening. And when this came out, obviously grunge was going on. Shoegaze was happening when this was happening. Loveless was out. So there were so many different things going on, and this wasn't a part of it. And so I tried it a few times, and I really don't like this CD that much. Now I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go try this again. Here we got, over 30 years later, about 35 years later. It is 35 years later. I try it and I got it. I go, wow, I really like this. So yeah, it's like a return of melody, and it's like Big Star. This is basically a celebration to Alex Chilton and Gene Clark. If you like that Big Star, those type of vocal harmonies, you would like this. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. Kind of one of the standout tracks, What You Do to Me. Really nice stuff. Bandwagon-esque. Everyone knew it but me. Okay? I've absolutely late to the party of Power Pop. What you do to me, what you do to me, I know, I can't believe there's something about you got me down on my knees. What you do to me, I know, I can't believe there's something about you got me down on my knees. Final album, this is from Mark Lanegan. He passed away in 2012 and 2022, and known for the Screaming Trees, but he put out 12 solo albums. 12 solo albums, and he also had 5 albums they collaborated with people. 3 of them with Isabel Campbell, which I think are some of the best albums ever. This album, it's just filled with this broody blues and kind of broody blues rock, but also I don't know. He used synthesizers. He brought in synthesizers. There's krautrock influences that are happening, and he even has a drum machine in there. I bought this album when it came out in 2012, and it's just getting back into vinyl. This Amazon had vinyl, and I really liked it a lot. But after the flood, I have to redo everything, and so it's been on my want list, and I finally picked it back up again, and just his voice, he's this beautiful growling bass vocals. That's just so different. I mean, it's rough, but I like the sound of it. There is some really good guitar solos happening within this album, and it's just a kind of a mix of music. Some of the songs are more languid, some of the songs are more rocking, but it was just an album that, for me, really, as my first Mark Lanegan album, I didn't even think about him with Screaming Trees. I've just never one to remember, oh yeah, this guy's in this band, this guy's in this band. That just goes out of my mind. I just bought it because of reviews I had read about it and loved it, and now I have quite a few albums from Lanegan. Sleeping while eternity's eyes are weeping, so insect down in amber, days go by, please don't forget. Not even so in amber, days go by, remember that. Got this week. Hey, thank you for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate it. My phone's binging already. It's like only 3:30 in the morning. I'm getting texted already. Yay, life of pool cleaning. Have yourself a great day. Have yourself a fantastic week, and see you later. Oh, Two Guys Talking About Records. Please check out our podcast. This week, we're bringing in someone from Question Mark and the Mysterians, one of the original members. We're going to talk with them. He's putting out a book. Thanks, everyone. Bye.